Well, joining me now is Patrice Onwuka, Independent Women's Forum Director of the Center for Economic Opportunity. Patrice, great to see you. I got to start with this one. This is kind of a shocker. After accounting for inflation, household wealth dropped by $13.5 trillion from January to September of this year, the second worst destruction of wealth on record. Patrice, your reaction to that, again, shockingly big number, though maybe not when you think about all the problems we've had this year.
Well, Brian, good to see you. And it's a devastating number. I'm thinking of the people who are close to retirement, looking at the stock market and the performance over the past, 6 months, pretty much most of the year, thinking they've lost so much of their nest egg. I'm also thinking about the people who are struggling every day with inflation that has moderated over the past couple of months, and we may find out tomorrow is moderated a little bit more. But it's still 2 to 3 times higher than it was, over a year, almost going on 2 years ago. So it's not surprising when we look at how much Americans have lost over this year, that a lot of people's financial situations is not rosy. And I don't believe that the gaslighting by the White House, that things are good, things are fine, is resonating with most people out there, because they know how much they're spending and they know how much they've lost.
Well, and Patrice, if you look at the data beneath that and you look at household debt has hit record highs. Credit card debt has hit record highs. The savings rate is at a near record low. You get the impression that people are really starting to get squeezed, okay? So they had savings, they ate into it, but with wages not keeping up with inflation, they're getting to that point where the budget really starts to blink red. How concerned are you about that and its effect on the economy as we get into next year?
Well, I'm concerned. I'm looking at the behaviors that consumers are making. Are they trading down? We're seeing this holiday shopping season, for example, a lot of lower and middle class families start to trade down from, the brand labels to generic brands and store brands. Or they're moving. You're seeing middle income and even high income, $100,000 households shopping at the Dollar General and the Dollar Tree. So these movements in consumer behaviors telling us that people are trying to maintain the same standard of living given this protracted inflation. Can they continue to do so as they spend down on that excess savings, which went from $3.2 trillion to about 1.7 in the middle of this year? That's going to continue to eat away as we see costs continue to rise. I don't agree with Janet Yellen. She had her head stuck in the sand last year when she called inflation transitory, and now she's predicting 2023 is going to be pretty much back to normal with inflation. I don't think most people would agree with that.
All right, I got to ask you about this. This to me is a growing story, an important one. The IRS now requiring taxpayers to report transactions of at least $600 through payment apps like Venmo, PayPal, Cash App. Okay, we hear about those 87,000 IRS agents. They're only going to go after the wealthy. You can see it right here. This is not the wealthy stuff. This is $600 transactions through Venmo. But this is coming. Your thoughts on that?
Oh, this is going to hit women, working moms in particular. You sell your kids' used clothes to make more money for your family budget. You may get this IRS reporting 1099-K form. You sold a couch or equipment from your garage at a loss. You may still get that letter in the mail. What it's going to do is cause immense confusion during next tax season. It's going to put people in the position of trying to figure out, okay, do I owe or do I not? And maybe some people will end up with a higher tax bill, maybe they won't. But you've got, congressional research agencies saying, listen, there's going to be massive confusion, and it's going to cost the IRS to actually try to sort out this issue. This was caused when Congress tried to find dimes and pennies in our sofas to pay for the American Rescue Plan. Congress lowered the threshold. They need to fix this issue and fix it before, it causes even more confusion and headache next tax season. They can do it. They can fix it.
Well, and not only confusion, but just the idea that this is an administration that says it's all about going after the wealthy. And I don't agree with that either, because I think prosperity is good. But the actual fruit of what they're doing is they're looking at things that affect everyday people, mom and pop shops, people on Etsy, and they're saying that's where we're going to put our resources, Patrice. It feels like a crackdown and a bait and switch.
Oh, it is. I mean, again, you're talking about casual online sellers, people who are not making big businesses online, but people who are selling small items. And suddenly, I had this happen to me on Mercari app. You get, what is your social security number? We're going to be sending you tax forms. That can be jarring, but absolutely, with an empowered, robust IRS going after people, you're going to be seeing a lot more audits, and not just audits of the upper class and the wealthy. It's audits of the middle class and the lower class folks who maybe can't afford to pay an accountant to figure this all out for them.
Well, that's just it. The middle class, the little guy, can't fight the IRS. So if they're gonna staff up and they're gonna go after people, it's gonna be the people who can't fight back, and that's the little guy. We got to leave it there, Patrice. Thanks for your thoughts. We appreciate it.